Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the True Growth podcast. And in today's series of Moms Overcoming Mountains, I have the lovely Kineta James with me, and we're going to have a conversation around the challenges and the ups and the downs and the good and the bad as it relates to being a mummy. And I am so excited to have this lovely human on our podcast today. Okay, so Kineta, please introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself, what you do, who you are, and we're all
Goodness. Good morning. So for me, I want to just say thank you so much. I just want to say thank you so much for having me here and to speak on this topic. It's a topic also that's very close to my heart because I believe for us moms, we don't really have anyone to guide us through. We have to figure it out. And even if we have someone that does guide us, their ways may not fit how we see to run our household. So for me as a mom, I'm not just a mom, I'm also an entrepreneur, and myself, we're into network marketing. All right. And we also help persons to lead a healthy, active lifestyle. So our plate is full, and that's before we became parents. That's something we always did and we're still passionate about. So it's about balance. It was about balancing that. And then also I am a wife. And since, COVID happened, I decided I'm staying to work at home. So I do everything from home since COVID began. I never decided to go back out. And of course, now we started content creation, my husband and myself, which is we decided to just show our life on social media. And that happened because our niece, whenever we're at it, because just as you would see us at it on social media, she would just be in a corner giggling and laughing. And every time I turn to her, I say, "What you even laughing at? You have no idea what you even laughing at." And she said, "You guys, you have no idea. If you were to have cameras in here and you looked at it again, yeah, you'd understand." And she literally gave me the idea of, okay, what if I was to share this? What if I was to capture these moments? I don't get all the moments, but I said, okay, I'll capture the moments. And here we are today, so I'm able to now impact in a totally different way. We started also doing conversations about marriage and relationships and the ups and the downs, all the in-betweens. And because of that, we now have the ability to impact other couples who may go through the same thing, and even those who do not have that partner to help balance things in the household.
So, yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Just letting you know that your niece was right. Okay. she was onto something, right? And listen, Kineta, I'm in a client call yesterday. I'm in a session with a client, and half the first 10 minutes of the session was her talking about a video that you posted with is your son name's is it DeCalvo? DeCalvo. Oh my gosh, I butchered his name, right? But it's like celebrity kids, right? He's a celebrity kid, and she's having a whole.
That way, but I do not. It's so good.
She's having a whole session, right? And she's like, Latina, and she's telling me the lesson that she learned, right? From there was a marker. It was something about a marker, right?
Yeah, it's so crazy. And it's his fancy because this is right here, literally. So they look like this. Like, this is what they look like, right? And unfortunately, for him, although we have these conversations all the time, for him, he left one home, right. and he's excited to kind of play a prank on him, and I was excited about that to see what he will do, how he'll react, and we did not expect him in that moment of fun to literally tell a lie, a straight-faced lie with confidence. He was so confident. And I don't even know how Anil did it, where he switched on immediately. I have to learn that as a parent. It's hard. I'll be honest. Especially when you see the little face. And he switched on immediately. He built a mechanism where he just turned his head every time. Turned my head every time he wanted to laugh. But Anil really held it down. And Kavi learned. I call him Kavi and Cavo for short as well.
Okay, so I like Cavo. I'll call him Cavo. I like Cavo.
We learned from that, I couldn't believe that it happened the way it did. But once we take the story, we put it together, it's be able to share and hopefully
So your real life story is impacting lives in a major way, because I'm having a session with a client and she uses that story as a point of reference to talk about lying, right? And I'm like, wow. But she doesn't
Yeah.
even know that we were going to have this interview, right? So it just shows, I'm like, okay, this is alignment, and clearly this is okay. This makes sense. But I saw, because I did watch that video, and I saw, and you were like, oh gosh, and like,
I
yeah,
broke.
and your
And
heart, tears
from the
coming
moment
down.
you heard me in that video, from the moment you heard me say, "Oh God," it's because I already know. Okay, daddy mode is on. Because
Yeah.
Anil eyes, when I saw the eyes, I said, "Oh gosh." He's like, "So you lying to me, son?" I said, "Oh boy, this is gonna
Oh
go
my,
sideways."
oh my
And
goodness.
in the moment, I really try to hold it together, but
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
face, oh gosh, I have to learn, but it's a little face.
And he is
Just
adorable. He is adorable, right? So, as we're talking about that, my first question officially then is, how do you manage being, a parent who is, so gratefully you're in a relationship, because you're in a healthy relationship. You have a son, you have one son, and it's interesting navigating, having to deal with those type of emotions like you had to in that video, right? And then discipline, and then you have your husband, because I mean, when people are single parents, they may have to do things in a particular way, so they just, this is what it is. But now we have, you're not dying, you're not a partnership, and your heart is breaking, and you have to stand firm with the discipline that your husband is how does that work? How do you navigate that?
so okay, so I think this is the hardest thing for many young mothers
Mm-hmm.
of today.
Mm-hmm.
To allow the man of the house to be the man of the house. I think
Wow.
that's the hardest thing. And I say that because it was difficult for me as well. Very difficult. I had to understand that, okay, the role of what submission really is in a marriage. And when people hear that word, especially women, they're like, so you're telling me I have to do whatever you say. And that's not what it is. It's as simple as understanding, okay, above the wife is the husband, above the husband is God. And at the end of the day, once you have that belief, okay, once these align, things shall work out fine. Yes, emotions does get into it from time to time, but I understood when DeCarbo was born, when DeCarbo started to understand his personality, because he's at this stage now where he's truly exploring it all. But
he's 5, yes.
he's truly going to test us with everything, try to manipulate one parent. All of that is happening. But when Anil and I noticed that we were knocking heads with it, he actually had that conversation. It's like, okay, so listen, you're either going to allow me to be the present father, or you're going to always be pulling at what I am teaching my child. Yeah. So the first thing that comes to any young woman's mind, or any woman that is also earning and she's doing her thing, but I make that child, and it's my child. I carried that child for 9 months, and I had but no one sees when Anna and I truly knock our heads. No one sees that, because in that moment, there's totally the furthest thing from my mind to laugh at and to literally record. So in those moments when we bump, I have to remind myself, Kineta, he is his father. He is the man of the house. Wow. You need to respect what he's teaching him. Yes, you're here to nurture, to love, all of that, but you also have to allow him. So allowing is something that I have to remind myself. And I got the grip of that when the car was about 3. When he was about 3, I truly got the flip on it. And I think it could have gone sour, where Anna and I probably may have decided, we're good. I'm good. You're good. Go. Because both parents want to be parents. And for me, being a woman and being very emotional, I definitely just wanted to get the grip of everything, because it's mine. Yeah. Mine too. It's mine too. It's mine too.
And we carry that. And you carry that.
Yeah. So I had to just bring it down, as he said, take it from here, bring it down a notch. bring it down, and really respect him and respect, okay, no arguments in front of the cabo. Respect that when he disciplines him, don't go and try and change it over. I don't know if you noticed at the end of the video, as I said, don't lie if I wanted to add in something. So don't lie if you're trying to save somebody's life.
Yeah.
And he was like, don't lie at all, don't say a mother. And I was like, I had to just stay quiet. And really at that moment, it's just, Kineta, don't add anything to it again, because daddy put down his foot, daddy said what he had to say.
Right.
And daddy's teaching him something. So don't go and change what daddy just taught him.
Wow.
So that was my most challenging with parenting.
Right.
It's similar because even though she's not my biological daughter, I still am her active parent in this household. So same thing goes. He's daddy, I'm mom.
Right.
So the other day, I also learned, okay, I need to turn that to wash dishes. I saw the time. I was like, okay, get it.
Right. What is happening here?
Sent her to do X, Y, Z, and let her complete her task, and then, okay, cool. So
Kineta, if I have to tell you, right, I have a lot of conversations, right, and I have a lot of conversations with a lot of women. I mean, the women that I support the people that I support are predominantly women, and what you just shared about that submission and that dynamic in terms of relationships and parenting, Kineta, a lot of women need to hear that.
I know.
My paws raised while you spoke there. I was like, sis, you need to be doing sessions on relationships and parenting and that dynamic. Do you?
Do you know how many people be asking me? And I say, listen, I coach people to take care of their health with their nutrition. And let me tell you, that's a lot. I don't know if I have the capability, because
I think you do.
Take on a lot.
Yeah.
You feel emotions from these people. So I said, listen, I think I may have to go and do a course and learn how to separate the two, because I might feel such an attachment to the person when I'm talking to them. And I need to learn how to separate. So if I am able to go that way, I have to definitely be a professional behind it and not get attached, because I will get attached.
Yes.
I will.
And that is true. That definitely is a part of the practice as well, because we really need to know to separate those emotions, right? But yeah, I'm just letting you know that without any, if there's no actual like pure intention about relationship coaching, I am just letting you know that this is your nudge. This is your nudge. This is another nudge of the 100 nudges that you probably had, and I felt it. I felt it. That's a very soul level, Kineta. All right. So I just want to ask then, what was one of the most challenging times since you've been a mommy? And how did you overcome that?
Girl, what are you trying to do me this hour? There's so much. I mean, the most challenging time since I became a mom.
Yeah.
Oh. I would say going through my process of my cesarean, like that my physical self is not going to be the same.
Yeah.
That probably was the difficult emotionally and mentally to come over. I struggled. I struggled to deal with that, because I have seen, like, how social media can do it to you, right? Social media could really do it to you. And I have seen other women who would have had cesareans online who are into fitness and health. And I'm like, damn, like, why can't I?
Right.
Why
That's not back.
Like, why can't I? And it took me about 4 months in of becoming a new mom.
Right.
To accept, and I have to say, thank God for my husband and how he is. And because Anil is a guy, he doesn't polish up things. He says it as it is. Take it or leave it. I literally was in front of the mirror. I was taking a before picture of myself, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I was like, oh, this is like how I look.
Right.
Because I had this muffin top that you could hold and you could literally move.
Right.
And that frustrated me, because it's like, gosh, this is how I look. This is how I have to accept myself. Because after a month, I lost my baby weight, that extra weight I put on, that 30 pounds, I got rid of that. But my body did not look the same. 150 pounds did not look the same anymore. You know, so even though, yes, I know what happened, I know the difference between the muscle ratio and body fat ratio, I understand the compositions, everything, right? Cool. But to see it, so he had to let me know straight up, what is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong? Are you serious? You just had a whole child. You literally got your stomach, like your belly just cut open. Right? Your belly is like literally cut open. You have stitches, a baby, and you cannot accept that you're going to take time to get back. What do you think? 3 months is it? 6 months is it? You're forgetting what you tell your clients? What is wrong with you? Like, seriously? So I had to get that tough love. And then I was like, you know what? Truly, I'm just putting a little too much pressure on myself. And because I literally was going down a rabbit hole of not loving myself, not feeling pretty, not feeling sexy enough, not feeling good enough. All kind of weird stuff was coming into my head, like a lot. And that went on for like about for that 4-month period. And by the 6th month, when I got the clearance to be active again, I felt like me again. I felt a little more happy where, okay, I can move around, I can do things, because the challenge of the pain was enough. And then the pain of the emotional defeat, I felt, you know, that was the moment of me just trying to pull myself out. And it was only me to pull it out, because although, yes, he is a very present dad, I was still going through my emotional struggle.
Of course.
You know, and then the second thing would have been what I told you earlier on with the allowing him to be a parent and allowing him to be the dad and the father of, you know, so that was probably the most challenging in a nutshell.
And those are two very powerful, challenging periods, right? Like, I think we could all resonate with something like that in some degree. So if you had any advice, Kineta, what would you tell the mummies, especially a mummy who is having a really hard time? Really hard time.
A really hard time. No, your really hard time, mommy, could be so many different aspects. But what you need to do is just sit and reflect. Like, reflect on what is happening around you. Accept as well what has happened or what is happening. And you need to become solution-minded of how can I now correct what's happening here. Everything is not in your control, so just forget about trying to be in control of everything, but just focus on what you can work on. And I think that makes a big difference, because as soon as I made a decision of acceptance, this is where I'm at. It's not where I'm going to stay, but it's where I'm at. And this is what I can do to get out of this. And just be consistent and discipline yourself to get better. Every day is not going to be like the day one when you start it, because when you start on day one, everything goes great. That's fine. Everything goes great. By the end of the week, everything blows up in the fan, you know? So we know we've done this before, where in anything that we've done, and if you look at anything from your schooling, how you would go to school repeatedly, day after day, Monday to Friday, and do the lessons on the weekend, the extracurricular activities, whatever you did, you put a lot of effort and energy to be successful in your education or your career. Similarly, being a mother is the same. It just takes the same effort, energy, and consistency. So once you put it all together, you're good.
You always have this mindset, because listen, what all I'm hearing in this conversation is mindset. I am hearing mindset. I'm hearing emotional intelligence. I am hearing co-regulation. I'm hearing submission to God. I'm hearing all sorts of things. You always like this, Kineta?
Always like this. I would believe it began after getting married.
Oh boy.
After getting married.
Is this session about moms? Is this about relationships? Because listen, I'm like, Jesus, what are you doing?
I always had a positive mindset. Okay, so I always had a positive mindset. However, I'm that type of person, and I'm going to pull a page out of Anna's book. I'm that type of person. It's like, okay, I'm positive.
Right.
Because when he met me, that's what I was, a positive individual. Although Anna and I were about 8 years apart.
Right.
The maturity of our conversations is what kind of blew his mind. It's like, okay, whoa, like this. And he would always say that, I can't believe you're younger than me. And I know women older than you are, that I've been with. And I've been with women older than I am. And they can't even hold these conversations. So I am just, And I would blame one, my upbringing.
Right.
That would be the first thing that created that step. And then two, the people that I would have in my circle. So because of the circle, I believe your circle is so impactful.
It
If you have individuals who are very pessimistic in your life, trust and believe you ain't going very far from there. And before we got married, I had a balance of wanting to always become more, but always having a fear. Like I always had a fear there, like a little cap. So I'm right there and I want to just go, but I'm just, and he would be the one to just push me in that direction of, okay, so if you you expect someone to push you towards and make you get something, you have to do it on your own. You have to make it happen. And it's all through your mindset and your attitude. You know, what kind of aggression are you bringing to the table to get shit done? So many times when I would feel that fear overcome, and I just feel but it's not give up is the word. It's more like
shrink a little.
I guess it's like a shrink, or it's like a pause. I just pause.
Right.
I pause and I take time to catch myself. I guess I used to put it like that. I used to phrase like, I'm going to catch myself. And I need a moment. I need a moment to catch myself. And usually when I have to take a moment to catch myself, this could go within probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, where I'm trying to figure out, and there's so much emotions, and I don't want to offend this person, and I don't want this to happen, and I don't want them to think this way about me. And I had all of these thoughts in my mind of other individuals that may be affected by my decision, although I know the decision is going to be successful for me.
Wow.
So he was the individual that had to really kind of let me understand, okay, that's not how life works. That's not what needs to happen. So take your moments, yes, but don't get it too carried away. So when he noticed that I was going down that rabbit hole, he saw it. He immediately is like, okay, so how long is this really going to happen for? Because the same thing you thought about last week, you're thinking about this week. What action are you taking? You can't say you have dreams and there's no action. You can't say you want to do certain things and there's no action. Now, Anil as well, you know, Anil loves to do his motivational thing. He is, I always just say he's Dr. Phil, you know, I give him a little nickname from time to time. I'm like, all right, cool. But he lived so many life experiences that he was able to teach me that I would never experience. So that's what kind of allowed my mindset to get there as well. My upbringing, who I was, and him adding to it. And I truly believe that when you marry a partner, they need to add to your life.
Of course.
So he added in a great way. And that's what kind of puts it together. I believe his energy and what he brings to the table as well, to me, it makes it the way it is.
That is beautiful. So quick recap, guys, right? Positive mindset, because Kineta, as you spoke about all these things, right? And this is in reference to, we have a conversation about moms, but you've seen how important relationships matter in you being a good mommy, right?
Yes, it does.
And you having a safe space for you to, you know, help raise and support your child. And you identified, Anil, and have to help and you navigate these challenges that you had, etc. Right? You guys are in business together, right? And you have a baby. Well, he's a big boy. He's 5. Let's call everybody babies, right? He's a big boy.
Yes.
How you navigate that? What is the juggling act? And I know I had to ask because I'm a mommy. I have a 9-year-old. I have this business. We have school. We have and I'm all over the country at times. There's so much happening. My relationship. I mean, it's just like, and then I'm here in my daughter.
Right? I rock back now because listen. This is the part.
Right.
That most women do not want to hear.
Okay. So I'm bracing myself too.
There's no such thing as a 50-50 relationship in a marriage. There is a point in time in the beginning of the marriage before the kids come that things seem like, yeah, we got this. We can tackle the world. You understand me. I understand you. Cool. We good to go. Babe, I have to do so and so and so. So I'm not going to be home at this time. Yeah, cool. It's not a problem. Everything's cool. You get that. The compromise is cool there.
Right. However, I like that word, compromise.
It's cool. We could compromise easily. Like that's easy compromise, right? this is where it gets a bit challenging. When you have the child now in the relationship, okay, at times the mother takes more or the father takes more. You have to juggle the two of them.
Right.
And you cannot count. You see, that's where kind of things go downhill. But I was doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You telling me you can't do that. When that happens, things have to go down.
Right.
So bringing in that attitude into the relationship, especially sometimes if it is a man that does it, or woman, whoever is the one that does it in the relationship, when you bring that kind of aggression into the relationship with your conversation, you're asserting yourself, yes, but you are also confronting the individual who is also doing their part in the household. It's not like they're not, because they're going out there, they're working, they're coming back home, they're tired too, just like you're tired, but they are also putting in the work. You may want to compare your tired to their tired, and that's like number one. I would say just don't do it. Just don't compare your tired and your partner's tired. It's better to have a conversation and say, babe, I've been just going and I just need a moment. I just need some time to just, catch myself. Can you take on this for me? Versus coming at the person with the, but like, you're not living in this house too. So you really not seeing me. And I'm talking about this because this is something that happened to us too.
Right.
It happened. And now I have accepted that compromise is a little harder.
Yeah.
When you have a child, and also a child that's growing. And I have a 5-year-old and I have a 13-year-old with me now. So mommy is like, so for me, I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to compromise. We're going to compromise together. We've compromised before, we can do this. And we sit and we talk about it. Listen to me. I almost get fed up of me all the time with sit and talk, but I'm like, this is the only way that we could do it. We have to sit and talk. He's a guy. He acts, he gets things done, but okay, just give me the solution quick and let's go. But I want to talk to you. I want to just really talk to you. Give me at least 30 minutes of your time and let's talk and let's just get it going. Because it make me feel better, because I'm a person that is very emotional. I'm very, very emotional.
Right.
So I feel like if I don't sit and talk with you, you didn't hear me.
Right.
So I need to have that sit down conversation. For him, just tell me what to do, I'm good.
How do you going?
Yeah, he's good. But I need you to sit and listen to me. Okay.
Yeah.
So we did that, and the agreement was, I'll drop the kids to school. I'll take care of them in the morning. I'll take them to school in the morning. When they get back on the evening, you will be the one to go and pick up. Like, you'll be the one to get out the car. I'll drive. You get out the car. You do the thing. Get them. Yeah. And then when we get home, I'll take care of the home. I'll take care of the kids. You focus on work. You do what you got to do, and we'll switch.
Right.
Listen, our moments now, because of, content creation, working with other companies, where now the hats have become a little more difficult to, because there are moments like, you see, like, now I have to work, I'm here with you. He's going to have to take certain things on his platform I would have done. But it's because of that conversation and understanding that we can't look at each other's, the amount of time each other puts in. Yeah. Don't watch my clock. You don't watch my clock. I don't watch your clock. Ooh. We're looking to make things work together.
Because y'all have the same goal. Y'all have the same goal, which is to build a family, right? So it doesn't make sense to be measuring tiredness.
I don't any couple, whether you're a common law relationship or you're married, your intention every single day is all about your family and your household. Once the family household is secure, that's the motive on a daily basis. You get up on a daily basis. Your intention is to, okay, how can I get better? How can I do better for my family? Yeah. It's not supposed to be focused on checking in and seeing, okay, how much you did here and how much you did there. But you did more, you did less, and you're trying to bring down the other person because of that. That just makes me...
I feel like I'm in church, I just let you know. I feel like I'm in church in a good way. In a really good way, right? But Kineta, do you have like a schedule? It's like a schedule. Do you have like planners and you're all bougie with it? Or it's just a conversation like, babe, tomorrow I have a session with Latina at 10 o'clock. So is it a bougie kind of vibe, or
it's just... I'll be honest, I see some mom creators who definitely show their, boards and stuff, and they look so cute. My sister is actually one individual who is like that.
Okay.
I would say you've always been a person to have scheduling and boards and all these different planners. You go, girl. You do your thing. Me, I'm not good with that. I'm really not good. I've tried it, but it's not something that works with me. I mean, probably if I put a little more effort into it, possibly, but I don't. So what I do is I just probably will put reminders on my phone.
Okay.
If there's something really important that I need to remember, yes, I'm gonna put a reminder on my phone. Vice versa for Anil. Have a vision board that kind of keeps us on track with the things that we want to accomplish in life. We tick off the goals as we get it. And in terms of the daily activities, Anil, I have a meeting in the morning. That's it. So just remember, and like before we go to bed, remember this is what I have to go and happen tomorrow. And good night. We're good. That's about it.
That is such good. Listen, that is such smooth. Like people would pray for that. Yeah.
It's not smooth. I just said it's not smooth. Is it? I mean, I'm being 100% authentic.
Appreciate that. We appreciate that.
It's not 100% smooth. Even though you have conversations and you say you're going to do certain things, things happen, things come up, and you have to do the compromise. So you can't just say, okay, well, we spoke about it, so I expect that out of you. It's not like that, because at times, remember, every individual is themselves. You own that person. I mean, yes, you are married to the person. Yes, you both have that ownership with each other because of God, but it's not like I have 100% authority over this person.
Right.
So you have to always remind yourself how you say things, how it comes across, because you could bump heads again. You definitely can.
Of course.
Imagine if he were to have this talk and he knew he has to do something he has to take on a task that I had to do, and I came out with the attitude of, what happened to you? You forget?
Right.
Really? Because this morning he came out early, he saw me getting ready, and he's like, why are you up so early? And my first response could have been on edge. I could have given an on edge response. Like we spoke about this just last night. But my response was, oh baby, you forgot the interview that happened this morning. Gosh. Oh yes, right. So just
your emotional intelligence is up there. Just letting you know.
I appreciate you. I worked hard. I work harder.
It is proof. It is
you
proof.
Have to work it. You have to.
It is. It's like a muscle, right? All of these things that we're talking about is a muscle. Being a mommy is building a muscle. Emotional intelligence is building a muscle. Communication in your relationship is building a muscle. So yeah. So really quick, we're gonna break the ice. We're just gonna do this. Pasta or mashed potatoes?
Pasta or mashed potatoes? Ew. Pasta.
Sunrises or sunsets?
Oh, sunsets. Oh, sunsets.
I know, right?
I'm hopeless romantic.
What about night out with the girls or beach house with your hubby?
Beach house.
Which stage do you prefer? Do you prefer Cavo at baby stage or at his current stage?
Baby stage. Baby stage was super easy.
Oh my goodness, Kineta, it was an absolute pleasure having you here on this episode here. It was, listen, my pulse was raised through half of this session. I'm like, oh my God, this is Jesus. Like, this is conversation here. It was so powerful, and I know that people would really appreciate the nuggets that you shared. If you have anything wrapping up, if you have anything upcoming, any events, anything's happening, share. This is a beautiful time for you to let our community know.
Okay, so I would say, full on, if it is that you're looking for help with your nutrition, you're looking for help with support to get that mental there, you can definitely hit Anla and I up. Just send us a DM. It's fine. And this is where we can help you to achieve your goals. Remembering that things don't happen overnight. Dieting does not work. So try not to diet, and we will help you change that mindset. And to pull everything together, always remember to take a little me time, not just when you go on the vacation, every day. Take a little me time, a little 10 minutes, 15 minutes in the morning, on
Yeah.
a morning, particularly after the hustle, the bustle, catch yourself and just get it going again.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's a pro tip for mummies, by the way. That's a pro tip. That is a pro tip. And I have to check you for those nutrition things because sis, I've been in the gym and my diet's struggling. Anyways, that's another conversation, right?
Correct. Right.
But yes, I appreciate you so much, Kineta. Thank you for being here.
No
Guys,
problem.
this brings us to the end of this episode. Be sure to check out Kineta and coaching around nutrition and your health and wellness. And be sure to leave a comment and subscribe and do all of the things. So it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let me